but would you allow a loved one to use truth sense on you?
No. Do not.
Sacrifices must be made.
So I have a silly little game I'd like to play. This is called Dune or Dune Not. I give you a scenario in the world of Dune. If you do it, you say Dune. If you wouldn't, say Dune Not.
I love this. And this is answering as ourselves or our characters?
Yes, yeah, as yourselves.
Okay, cool.
You know. So first up, would you ride a sandworm?
Dune. That'd be fun. Yeah. Good fun. Never done it. Got to try it. A ride's a ride too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that looks like the best ride.
Dune, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed to find that we didn't get to do that when I read the script, I have to say.
Maybe in season 2?
Hey! Trouble is, our planet is very damp, so it would be more of a mudworm, and I don't think that would be so much fun.
Would you ride a sandworm?
Dune.
Yeah. Why is that so easy to say yes to?
Well, roller coaster. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like the absolute adrenaline from that sounds like. Yeah,
and to do it and succeed, like I'd feel so like you couldn't bring my ego down after that. I'd probably be a completely different person. Yeah.
The wind, the wind in your head.
Yeah. The wind
down in your eyes. Yeah.
Dune or Dune Not, ride a sandworm.
Dune.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. If someone's like, do you want to ride a sandworm? I'm like, yes.
Would you ride a sandworm?
Oh, do not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It might be a bit messy, All that sand. I don't like the thought of it.
All right. Dune or Dune Not, try spice.
Dune. Oh, wait. That was a bit too hasty.
Dune Not until you're older. But
no, but there's different ways to use spice. People have it in tea.
You can have spiced tea.
You can have
I want one of those.
Oh, right.
Inhaler.
Spice inhaler.
Spice inhalers, yeah. Straight into the lungs.
Are you going to try spice?
Dune.
Dune for the anti-aging
yes.
version.
Yes. Well, just to try it,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Just a splash.
Just to try it. Just a little splash.
It seems like the anti-aging is the quality that most people are saying first, as far as, the...
I think it's the least controversial.
It's the least loaded answer.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Dude, for sure. Duh. Solves everything. Love that stuff.
Yeah, is there a reason why? I mean, is there a certain power, a certain aspect of it that you would just immediately say yes to?
I think, the way that they take it in the spice stand is like a drug, but I think we have spiced tea once a day, just refreshes and gives your brain a, it's just like...
It's a bit like what we have in England we call PG tips. Sorry, that's a British joke. Sorry.
But it's, no,
you have a cup of that in the morning.
But also, Dune is power, it's energy, it's, oil, it's whatever you like to call it. It's
clarity.
Yes, as well.
Oh, Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look younger, you extend your longevity, you can get some foresight into the future. I'm seeing a lot of benefits from
beautiful blue eyes.
Dune.
Yeah. No drawbacks there, apparently.
Yeah.
That's quite tempting. Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
Let's Dune that for the time being, maybe.
Yeah. What's the reservation about spice? The addiction?
Yeah, all those kind of things. Yeah, there might be a downside, possibly.
Yeah, but I don't know. The blue eyes seem nice.
But I would take it for the blue eyes. I agree. They're pretty cool.
How about try spice?
Yeah, bloody oath. Dune.
I guess Dune. Dune. I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm into that.
You seem a little hesitant about it, though, Jordan.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how prescient I want to be, like when I do some spice. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Why not?
Dune or Dune Not? Would you use the voice?
Dune. Oh, it's all yes.
Yeah, Dune. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to get a teenager to tidy their bedroom? You will tidy your room. You will pick up your pants. You will put them in the drawer.
Dune or Dune Not, use the voice.
Oh, it's hard.
It's like a moral thing, but like absolutely Dune.
Dune. You know what, Dune?
Oh, I'd only use it for good, though.
Sure, Jade.
Not for self-advancement.
Can you be certain of that?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, who can be certain until you get that power?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would definitely do it at least once.
Even if it's just like, Chloe, get me a drink.
All right. Would you use the voice?
Oh, Dune.
Do not.
Ooh.
Yeah. Why not?
I don't like to be loud.
It's just the volume of it. It's not the control.
Yeah, no, I like the control, but no, I want people to love me for who I am. I don't want to control their thoughts.
Yeah, Dune, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there someone that you'd like to use the voice on, or somewhere that you think you could benefit from using it?
When fighting for a parking space, I think it would be super useful. Definitely. Totally.
Drive away. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't give me a ticket.
How about this? Dune or Dune Not? Would you use the voice?
Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 2 kids at home. That would be great. You could just get them to do as they're told.
I mean, that's just the coolest ability.
Dune or Dune Not? Use truth sense on a loved one.
Do not, I think. Some things are best left unsaid.
What about, would you use truth sense on a loved one?
Dune Not.
Dune Not.
Dune Not. That's recipe for
yeah,
disaster.
I don't think I'd like to hear if someone was lying to me.
Yeah, because they're lying for a reason.
Yeah.
Just leave that there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're far too fragile for any of that.
Yeah.
Would you use truth sense on a loved one?
Oh, that'd be a bit scary.
Yeah, that do not for me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes the truth is, as Travis said, can hurt you.
Would you use truth sense on a loved one?
Well, I think you just do anyway, don't you? I mean,
when you're going through their phone.
when you know somebody really well, you're like, really?
Yeah.
I just need to say, honey, I don't go through your phone.
Dune, I feel like I'm constantly using my own version of truth sense on all people around me. So, yeah.
Would you use truth sense on a loved one?
Yeah.
Dune. If you want to stay with them, don't. And that's some word of advice.
Oh, but if you want to stay with the right person, Dune. There you go.
I think, if you test someone, the chances are they'll fail.
Wow.
And actually, you shouldn't have to truth sense on them. They should be willing to give you that themselves. If you have to do that, then your relationship's doomed. Thank you for laughing at that. Appreciate that.
Well, I'm here with the bad puns already. So if you're topping my bad puns,
you started it, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just the threat of being able to truth sense someone may be enough to, keep them on the right path, hopefully.
I'd do it at least once, like I would.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's, on a partner?
Oh, no, not me. Okay. Oh, you said on a loved one.
On a loved one.
Yeah.
But also, them knowing that you can do that would, if I knew that my partner could truth sense,
you tell the truth.
Wouldn't. Yeah, you just tell the truth. Because you'd be like, well, what is that? What is the point?
So maybe it's just maybe you won't even need to use it.
But then you've also got the challenge of being like, can I trick it? Can I try? You have people try and cheat lie detectors.
Yeah.
But would you allow a loved one to use truth sense on you?
No. I'm trying to protect them.
I'm married, so I'm going to say Dune.
Yeah, whether you're using it or not, you're using it.
I'm telling the truth all the time.
Would you allow a loved one then to use truth sense on you?
Yeah. Absolutely. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah. But when you've been with somebody a very long time, which we both have, it's like,
I was in a play with her husband when we were at university together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
When I was 19. Yeah. He was Titus Andronicus and I was Tamara the Great.
So are you ever going to allow a loved one to use truth sense on you?
Do not.
Do not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just too dangerous once you open that Pandora's box.
Yeah, it's thin.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, some of those white lies may protect us.
In its purest form, yeah, I don't think I'd lie to my loved ones.
It's funny because, So I would allow it used on me, but I wouldn't want to use it on them. What is that saying?
What's that saying about you?
I don't know. I'd rather not know the truth. Just stay with me.
Dune Prophecy, it resembles the Dune films, but it takes us to mostly new planets with these stunning practical sets. Once you step into this world of these sets, how did that deepen or evolve your understanding of who you were playing?
The set that is the sort of heart of the Bene Gesserit is breathtaking, and I think we all walked onto that set, and again I got
goosebumps.
And a sort of ignorant person's guide to sci-fi acting. You have to raise the bar up to a very high scale to occupy that space, and that kind of, playing characters that want to rule the universe is a step up for actresses of our generation. We never thought we'd get to be those people, so it's a thrill to flex those muscles.
And that set, the Sisterhood set, the exterior of the Sisterhood set has the history of the birth of the Sisterhood is actually in the bones of the building in a way that you will discover as the series unfolds. It's just brilliantly conceived.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'll be looking for that. And that's interesting to hear you say, was it empowering then to be able to play these roles, to take on this character that otherwise we haven't really seen?
They built us like staircases to swoosh up and down. Our skirts made this incredible noise as we moved. And so you moved through the space, and, doors to exit through those incredible glass doors with metal, beautiful filigree metal across them. I mean, it was magical. And the way the lighting was, it's like, I know if I stand here, I am going to look fabulous. And it is I remember saying one day to the director, he wanted me to stand somewhere else. I was like, no, I'm going to stand here. He's like, why do you want to stand here? I was like, because if I stand here, this shot will be in the trailer. And I was right.
Do you know which shot it was exactly?
I know exactly which shot it was. There's a shot of me standing in front of a glass door with filigree metal behind me, and the shot's in the trailer.
Incredible.
Experience counts for something. Slaving away on Rushmore with Wes Anderson, I learned a thing or two about lighting.
Yeah. Well, you have a very Max Fisher suit on right now, I will say.
I do. Well spotted. Do you know that is actually written into the script that Max is wearing a green velvet suit?
Yes.
It's there in writing in the script.
Because I've read the script and I had a green velvet suit as well that I wore in my young years.
I'm sad you're not wearing it now.
Yeah.
How dare you not wear it?
You pulled it off.
Yeah, it went okay.
Prophecy, it also explores how humankind would cope with thinking machines being abolished. Is there a technology that you would miss most from your life, or is there one that you would be happy to see go?
I'd be happy to be rid of my smartphone. I feel like it's beginning to control me in a way that just because everything is there, and I resent it so much.
I think we will look back on particularly these last 10 years, as my kids have been growing up, as cowboy country. What were we doing? What were we thinking, putting these things in the hands of people? I, as a 56-year-old woman, can't control my scrolling habits. So how a 9-year-old is supposed to tell good from evil when they speak to someone on the internet. Oh, God. Yeah.
I think it's changing the nature of our species. You walk down the street and everybody's here.
Yeah.
And nobody's engaging with where they are.
I'll be happy to say goodbye to the internal combustion engine as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we'll be in chaos for a moment, but Dune tracks such a long period, so many eons that you can see that maybe we're going to be okay. It might take a little bit. There may be an initial chaos, but get rid of the phone and maybe there's a new reality.
The birth of the Sisterhood is partly to do with the death of, they have defeated AI, and now humanity is trying to find ways to advance the species so that the Sisterhood have worked on these powers of discernment. We have all these kind of superpowers, but they're all in your head. We can look at somebody and tell exactly whether they're telling the truth or not. We have these, we can dive down into our own biology inside our microcosms and find our DNA, and through that contact our ancestors. You know, it's all kind of really pseudo nonsense, but it does have a sort of scientific base to it. And there are various different schools around the universe of Dune that are doing similar things, trying to advance understanding to a point where we don't need AI, don't need machines. So that, you know, it's very, it's a very interesting territory in terms of what is happening right now.
This endangers everything. There are secrets we have gone to great lengths to keep.
Once you were on Wallach 9 and, you know, soaking in those amazing sets, how did that evolve your understanding of the character or your performance?
Yeah, I think putting on the kind of costume and stepping into that big main space, the big library room, was just sort of like, you kind of realize just how big and epic this whole world is.
I completely agree. I mean, it was really quite surreal. It felt like we were stepping into another reality, and like we didn't really have to do the extra work of, you know, that I guess a lot of people have to do on shows with a lot of green screen. Like it was mainly physical, you know, sets, which was so cool. And then, you know, to see it after, like watch the episodes and see how they then expand on that with like VFX and CGI, it's just even cooler. Yeah. So I think it's just, such a blessing.
So you're mostly actually on physical sets. You're actually interacting with this. Yeah. It looked like you couldn't fake it because it is so tactile.
Yes, exactly that. And so detailed. Like those sets were incredible.
You could take a book off a shelf in the library and it would be full of the language, which was just absolutely, like, the intricate detail was off the charts.
Okay, well, I guess I have to ask then, was there anything that you wanted to steal or maybe got away with?
I really wanted to steal one of those pens. See, like they're like really cool. We had to like learn how to hold them. Like, they were like really awesome.
I wanted to steal. I had like a little whale tooth. Lila has the whale tooth, and I didn't get to steal that mainly because of future seasons. Hopefully,
that's what we're saying. Anyway,
yeah, that's what
we were told. Yeah, you can't. We might need that for the next season.
I love how Prophecy also explores how humankind would cope with thinking machines being abolished. What technology would you miss most in your own life, and which would you be happy to see go?
I would miss Google Maps so much.
That's so true.
I cannot
just map. Other maps are available.
Other maps are also available. I couldn't get anywhere without the use of maps.
Yeah.
And even in my own city, like Manchester, I would not be able to get, find cool places.
You just follow it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like blindly as well. Like places that you go all the time. I always just put on Google Maps.
Yeah.
But also, I was going to say like search engines.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, why is that? Or who was the first person to play that? And you can just find out immediately. So yeah, the internet.
But what would we want to see go away? Oh,
I love that you've just added a new question.
No, that was the question. Listen, Jade. I think. I don't know. I find AI a bit scary. I don't think that's controversial. Why does that feel controversial to say?
No, it's not controversial. I think it's very, that's the thing, like power, responsibility, it's a lot of power.
I guess
AI,
it's similar
so
to,
it's like, as long as it's used for good.
Yeah, similar to like the whole like Dune mantra of like thinking machines. I guess it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this show should make you a little bit scared of thinking machines. I mean, once we get glimpses of the technology wars and the robot wars, and it's terrifying. Yeah, we don't want anything to do with that if that's where AI is going.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the secret hand signal, like sign language that the Sisterhood has. Have you been taught any of those hand motions yet in the series?
I don't think.
Something.
I think we're too new, we're too acolyte. We've got to get to a much higher. That's like the war speak.
Right.
Is that what they call it?
I'm not too sure.
Where they can like communicate the truthsayers.
Right.
Yeah, and the Reverend Mothers. They can communicate, like, it's so cool when I watched it.
It's really cool.
But
see, like, the little just like one flicker of a hand can mean so much.
We haven't got to that level yet.
We're not that advanced yet. Maybe one day. Maybe season 2.
Yeah, because I wonder if there's a full language scripted out in that. It seems like, everything's so deeply explored in this that those hand signals mean something, that somebody can actually.
There's no doubt that there's definitely thought that's gone into these. Everything is very purposeful.
Yeah, definitely.
If I lose control of Arrakis, the great houses would feed me to the worm.
Working with this character, you're understanding this character, but once you're there on those sets, did it deepen or evolve your understanding of your character?
No, it's pretty impressive, mate. I mean, my job is to, like a little child, play dress up and act like a different person. So it certainly helps. It certainly helps, mate. It blows my mind every time you walk on a set in this show, and it's just so extravagant, and the detail. Obviously it's a big epic. Everybody says the show is the size of it and how grand it is, but it's all the little details that the camera picks up which are very impressive, from rings on people's hands to bracelets to earrings, and just every little detail is thought out. It's a huge undertaking to set up a world like this.
Yeah, Jordan, you're living with all these worlds on the page, and then once they're realized, I mean, I'm hearing that the books even had the language printed in them if you'd pull one of those off the shelf in the Planet of the Sisterhood.
Yeah, and in the language in terms of what they look like and how they...
Actually, that there's words written in those books, according to, some of your actors in the Sisterhood, that, just... It's so immersive, and it takes you to this place.
Don't believe anything those witches say, mate.
But what would I like to see it realized, to go from the page to actually standing there in the world?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, Lankerville is a very good example of that. Like in the books, it's written as this kind of like, frozen tundra, barren landscape. When we were out there trying to find that and in Budapest, we had some ideas of how to do it, and then we got lucky that the film gods were with us, and it was just snowing when we had to film those sequences, and it just the beauty of those locales are just incredible, and they add so much to the show.
I also love that Dune Prophecy. It's exploring how humankind would cope with thinking machines being abolished. Is there a technology you would miss most from your own life, or one you would be happy to see go?
We were laughing before in an interview of, imagine if everybody just lost their phone, or their phones were all just cut off, the world would go to crap.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do without my phone at this point. I mean, it's just, that's how we're on the drip so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's, we are almost there to thinking machines ruling us, yeah.
Yeah, our fridge. I'd miss the fridge.
Fridge.
The fridge?
Yeah.
Fridge is not really a thinking machine, though.
Oh, it thinks pretty well for me.
Right.
You've got one of those smart fridges that talks back to you and tells you what's in there.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, man, can you make ice?
Nah, here you go.
Yeah,
That's a
you
good
didn't
point.
think of
There you
that,
go.
did you?
That's a good point.
Well, whether he's lying or telling the truth, the series and the Dune franchise, it investigates, the truth of prophecy. Is our path laid out before us, or do we shape our truth to what we believe? I mean, can we really ever know which is true?
That's you, buddy.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that, today, I think what's relevant about the story that is today is, information kind of dictates how we kind of live our lives and what we believe. I think the sisterhood is starting to realize how useful and powerful it is to control information, to wield it, to kind of use it to kind of bring out realize your agenda. Prophecy is an interesting thing because it's meant to tell you what happens, but sometimes you can make it happen. All these things are very fascinating.
And very resonant with today's,
extremely resonant.
Yeah, with what is truth? Who decides the truth? And and then you throw your character, Travis, Desmond, in there, and it just blows up all their best laid plans. Is he his own prophecy, one that we didn't see coming? Are our prophecies true or not because of this character?
Yeah, so I think it's very powerful to be able to tell the truth, especially in this day and age, and like you were talking, and especially when it relates to politics and media stuff. It's like, what do you believe? And sometimes the truth can be the most upsetting and detrimental power that you have, and I think my Desmond comes in and he's telling the truth, and it scares everybody, and the truth only scares people that are lying, so whenever somebody gets scared of the truth, I think it's a good giveaway for people being up to something.
Your Majesty, the troubles are far greater than just Arrakis.
The character, you're reading them on the page, but once you step into this world of these sets, how did that deepen or evolve your understanding of who you were playing?
Being in the palace and being like, this is where they live and this is their everyday life, because they do live a very secluded life. it was amazing walking through the palace for the first time and seeing the big throne room and Princess Inez's bedroom, which is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it makes the whole experience so much more immersive. And when you go into the set, it's like a lot of the time it could be a blue screen or something like that, but then this specific set, everything's built. Like the throne room is there, it's like a 3-story high building, basically. It's everything is so practical, and it just makes your job of, I guess, acting so much easier.
Yeah, because you don't have to pretend. You just have to be there and see what you actually see in real life.
You're actually in a palace.
Yeah.
Even like the level of detail on the props, like in the Spice Den, which was my favorite set, like being able to walk through, you can pick up the spice things and they work. You know, the buttons come on, they light up, and there's things that you can really use. And they went to such lengths to make everything as real and as practical as possible. So that just gives you that extra bit of ease and confidence in what you're doing on set.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in that case, if you can actually use all these things, was there something that you wanted to possibly take home with you?
So many things.
There was lots. I wanted to take my sword home, but that wasn't allowed.
I wanted to take my balisette, which was also not allowed.
I mean, there was so much beautiful art in the palace that I was like, I could have that at home, but then it probably wouldn't fit, because I mean, the bedchamber of Princess Inez's bedroom is bigger than my real life apartment. So
Just have a big picture of Mark Strong.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's just a photo of Mark.
I want the picture of Mark. Yeah.
So, Dune Prophecy, it also explores how humankind would cope with thinking machines being abolished. What technology would you miss most from your own life? And is there one that you'd be happy to see go?
Well, I would miss my phone. I mean, like many people, sadly, I think I'm a little bit addicted to my iPhone.
I feel like I'd miss my phone, but then I'd be happy that phones were gone at the same time.
Yeah, like the stress of like the alarm, and also like when people text or call.
I could do without my phone, but I couldn't do without like streaming services. I think how we get our content now, and especially for like for sports as well, like live sports. Like if I couldn't watch that, that would crush me.
Yeah, absolutely. And another part that the series is investigating and just digging into is this idea of truth and prophecy. Is our path laid out before us, or do we shape truth to what we believe? I mean, can we ever know which is true? Have you really dug into that idea as the show explores it?
I think that's so interesting, because I think to every person there, they have their truths, and I think that varies from person to person. And I think, that's one of the things that I love so much about the scripts, is how these characters and everything that goes through, it's so human, it's so grounded, and their way of seeing life is real to them, and everyone sees it differently, their stakes are very personal, and they believe in what they believe in so much, but they don't believe in the same thing, Absolutely. So
tell yourself enough lies that become true.
Exactly.
Eventually, and I think there's a lot of that with some of the characters in the show.
Yeah, and in real life, I mean.
Yes, that's
Yeah, that conversation comes right out of real life. What we're doing right now is why this show, I think, will resonate with so many people.
Yeah.
I run a school for young women. We're not a threat to anyone.
You spent so much time with these characters on the page, but then once you're standing in the world of Seleucus Secundus or Wallach 9, what was that like for you as a writer, and did it deepen or evolve your understanding of the characters?
That's such a great question. I mean, absolutely, like to be living in your imagination, and yes, you're imagining things based on the books you've read and the movies you've seen, and just going to different ideas in your own head is one thing. But to then see and to almost hand that blueprint over to people who love Dune as much as you do, and that was it's really one of the privileges and joys of working on something that is so influential, is that people have relationships to it. And so many of our creators, like our production designer Tom Meyer, who designed a lot of those sets, had a love for Dune and a knowledge of Dune and a desire to like dig into it and kind of like meet the bar and do their greatest work, and so I think there's something about this kind of a universe that really calls forth people's desire to I don't know, dig deep, and we really tried, and standing on those sets was humbling and amazing and just gorgeous. Also to see the work that our visual effects team did, building out, making it more elegant, more spectacle, while at the same time trying to tell a story that's intimate, that's grounded through our characters and through our cast. I mean, there was many, many things about this production that, terrifying and exhilarating is the only thing I can describe it, and we're very excited.
And I think some of that excitement, comes from the ways the series digs into conversations that we're having today in the real world. I love that Prophecy explores how humankind would cope with thinking machines being abolished. What technology would you miss most out of your own life, and which would you be happy to see go?
Well, I have a love-hate relationship to my phone, so I mean, both things might be true. I agree. Like, I think that it's such a compelling moment we're living in now, because I do feel like AI has a momentum that will transform us, and it's up to us to kind of try and navigate how that transformation takes place. And I think, like any new technology, it's going to be good, it's going to be bad, it's going to be revolutionary, it's going to be dangerous, it's going to be all the things. And so I think the more we can sort of ask the right questions of it, or have a sense of what's at stake with it, the better chance we stand of shaping it in a way that is productive for us. And I think Dune, by imagining a world where, like you said, we're on the other side of an epic sort of war where humanity had to reclaim itself from all the power and control it gave over to thinking machines, who in turn came up with their own thinking machine agenda that really made humans just raw material to be worked with. I think that that's an amazing cautionary tale to be sort of, but at the same time, we're watching humans rebuild and think about what it means to be human, which is also very pertinent, and a question we should be asking, not just the dangers of technology, but what is special about us that we want to hold on to. And so I do think Dune has a lot to say right now.
Absolutely. And then, there's the conversation about truth and prophecy. What is our path laid out before us, or do we shape truth to what we believe? Can we ever know which one of those is true?
That's right. Well, it's exactly the gray area of the show. Yeah. And I mean, it's why it's, and it's something I really hope that as we tell hopefully a gripping and fun story that you look forward to watching, that it also rewards anyone who feels like thinking about the power of story, the danger of story, what are our narratives, what do we choose to believe in, who shaped that truth, what's the hidden agenda, you could go on, but just fun to think about, and certainly compelling to think about.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think it extends to, the power of story, because once you tell a story, it becomes someone's truth, somebody watching this and this is their truth, and then what are the butterfly effect ramifications of that? When you go down 10,000 years, through these centuries. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I think Dune is always questioning sort of what do we do with our charismatic leaders? Like, what is the savior story? Is that story really going to take us where we want to go? Or what are the dangers of that story, or the burdens of that story? Also very interesting.
Now is the time to secure the throne and protect the Imperium.
Being on those sets, being, kind of immersed in that world, did you have a greater connection to playing this role?
I think the sets are just so extraordinary. When you walk into that space, it's so theatrical, so yeah, absolutely. As an actor, it really informs the scenes and, the sort of varying agendas and power play that's at work, in some of the kind of big set pieces that we have in those sets. it's I guess, you know, it's so totally different from the world of the sisterhood. And I think that's what's exciting about this series, is that, you know, you really see these kind of very different worlds within, you know, the same universe, as it were. But I mean, I guess as an actor, your job is to make it relatable, you know. So I kind of took a lot of my sort of references from, you know, maybe sort of medieval history in terms of, you know, we're still in a court and we're still looking at how a royal family is behaving. So in my mind, imaginatively, rather than it being a planet, it's a kingdom.